Welcome to Billing Timed Codes, the 8-minute rule versus a substantial portion model, part of a new webinar series designed to introduce new coding changes and answer specific, frequently asked questions. If you have any topics you would like to see addressed in future webinars, please email your suggestions to coding@aota.org. In this webinar, we will be discussing how to bill for timed codes, the two methodologies for determining time, and how to bill untimed and timed codes in the same session. First, it is important to understand what time makes up a CPT code. CPT codes are valued to include pre-service, intra-service, and post-service time. Pre-service and post-service time, though usually minimal, are included in the payment determination. Let's take a look at an example. For CPT code 97533, sensory integration, the code includes 3 minutes of pre-service time to prepare the patient, 15 minutes of intra-service time, which is the time we count for billing purposes, and 5 minutes of post-service time to counsel and document. It is important to understand that the pre- and post-service time is included in the codes when monitoring productivity. The first time-based billing methodology is the 8-minute rule. The 8-minute rule was created by CMS and is used by the Medicare system. Many Medicaid payers also follow the 8-minute rule, as do some private payers. If you are unsure, it is important to contact your payers to determine if you are following the proper methodology. Following the 8-minute rule, you have to reach 8 minutes of a code in order to bill it. But if you bill more than 1 unit per session, you must meet the entire 15 minutes for each service except the last unit. For the last unit, you must reach 8 minutes. Let's look at an example. We spent 16 minutes on therapeutic activities and 25 minutes on self-care for a total of 41 minutes in the session. If we divide 41 minutes by 15, we get 2 15-minute units with 11 minutes left over. According to the 8-minute rule, we must reach 8 minutes of the last unit to bill. In this case, we reached 11 minutes, so we can add the third unit. Put in another way, here are the ranges of billable minutes for each unit. To bill 1 unit, you only need 8 minutes, but to bill 2 units, you need 23, or 15 minutes plus an additional 8 minutes. This method ensures you cannot bill for more than 60 minutes of timed services per hour. Substantial portion methodology follows the conventions for timed codes that is described in the CPT book. Substantial portion methodology, or SPM, is still followed by some private insurances, but not all. Check with your payers to see which methodology they are using. According to substantial portion methodology, as long as you perform a substantial portion of the service, you can bill for it. Once again, the substantial portion is considered more than half, or 8 minutes, of a 15-minute code. Where SPM differs from the 8-minute rule is that it does not require the full 15 minutes to be performed in the first unit before adding the second. Under SPM, you can bill a new unit for each 8 minutes. This allows for more than 60 minutes of timed codes to be billed per hour. Before starting to use SPM, it is very important to consult your payers. If you start using SPM and your payer follows the 8-minute rule, there is potential for audit trouble because you will be billing more units than the payer allows. Both timed and untimed services can be billed on the same day, but in most cases, they will hit an NCCI edit and require the use of the modifier 59. The modifier 59 is needed to indicate that the services are significant separate services, which for our purposes means that there is no overlap in time. The documentation must clearly show the time spent on the time-based services as separate and not a part of the untimed services performed on that day. For example, when billing therapeutic activities on the same day as an evaluation, the therapeutic activities must be to start treatment based on the completed plan of care and not part of the assessment for the evaluation. The amount of time spent on untimed codes does not matter. Bill the untimed code once and the appropriate number of timed units based on what is documented using the appropriate methodology. In summary, check with your payers before using substantial portion methodology. If unsure which methodology your payer accepts, the 8-minute rule is safer because time of service provided more closely matches the time of services billed. Timed and untimed services can be billed in the same session as long as the time documented for the timed services was not spent as part of the untimed service. Check NCCI edits to see if modifier 59 is needed before billing.